Hi! Happy Friday ulit. It's nice to do this kind of like a reset from having a very busy work day. From Monday to Thursday. Well, technically Monday to Friday, but I feel like this gives me yung last boost of energy to get through the last day of the week. So that's why I do it every Friday. And also just because I know most of the people that watch me, are VAs, and most probably than not, you guys also need this, boost of energy before um the weekends, and probably yung mga research time nyo, yung fulfill nyo ng checklist, you do it over the weekend because you're probably very busy over, like the weekdays. So, totally understand that 100%. This week, we're gonna talk more about the cost and taxes under the digital nomad visa. So I just wanted to come on here because I feel like there's always a lot of these questions being like thrown at me here on the live, or like in the comments of my posts, and of course in the DIY group sa Blue app. So definitely completely understand that it is a pretty daunting big step towards migrating, especially for us freelancers na technically speaking we're pretty much comfortable na in the Philippines. So I know that it's such a big step, especially if comfortable na kayo sa Philippines, you don't really have much to worry about, and this migration or yung pag ano nyo sa digital nomad visa is just an option of having a better passport or better future for your children, ganyan. So definitely want to talk about the cost, taxes, like remunerations that you need to like consider if you are moving to Spain, or during your application, especially if you are DIYing it. Ayan, welcome everyone, and welcome din, and andito ka na naman, Shine. Ayan, thank you so much for watching. But yeah, I think most probably than not, we'll wait for a few more minutes to get everyone notified and to jump on. But definitely, if you have any questions, just leave them. And for people that just came in, we're talking about the Spain Digital Nomad Visa cost and taxes. And yung live nito will be posted on YouTube naman as a long form. So if you guys are not free right now or anything like that, then yeah, definitely puwede naman na later on jump on sa YouTube. We post this about, I think, Monday. Yeah, Monday yung kasi over the weekend I don't really like wanna work, to be honest, just because parang rest day ko yon. Sometimes I do still need to work, just because sometimes clients need something from me over the weekend, but I try to be it as minimal as possible. Yes po, it's me again. Na-miss ka lang namin. Aw, thank you. But ayun, trying to actually look for the cost here because I did like a breakdown post din naman sa Ate in Spain. So I wanted to make sure I'll be able to like give you like step by step and stuff like that. Definitely next week we'll probably talk more about like the taxes and social security implications for DNV. But for this one, I think expound natin yung costs for application, um and yung pagpunta dito, kung uhe route ka man or route for ang tawag dito, for consulate, ganyan. Yon. Thank you so much, guys. Ayun. Me, like, give me a second lang para hanapin. Ayan, but, ayan, there you go. Okay, so let's start. Now that a little bit of people are here now, but kung mag-a-apply, like sa consulate, um, it's a different cost and estimate talaga rather than applying here directly in Spain. Because when you apply directly in Spain, ang main difference is you need a Schengen tourist visa. And of course, you need to be physically here in Spain when applying. Ang pros and cons niyan, we do talk about it a lot on like videos and stuff like that. If you want me to make another video about it na medyo updated and stuff, then definitely comment that in every post na I make. I'll definitely go back with that. Rara Razi, ilang years po ba needed for DNV? Ilang years of experience ba? Tama ba? Yun ba yung question mo? I just wanted to make sure. Kasi very cryptic. But yeah, other than that, ayan, yes po experience. If hindi related sa degree mo or sa tinapos mo, yung work mo ngayon, then you need 3 years of experience in the same industry or in the same job title or role. So for example, if social media marketing ka, kailangan yung mga job roles mo before that is related din sa marketing. Like, madali siyang i-connect-connect. However, if related siya sa degree mo, ano siya, medyo mas easy kasi hindi mo kailangan na matagal ka na kay client. I have one client that recently fresh grad lang siya like last year, and he's only been with the client for about 7. Actually, nung nag-apply kami, mga 8 months na. Pero yun, 7 months nung nag-decide siya to do the digital nomad visa. But definitely, pwede yun. As long as related siya sa degree mo. Pero kung experience route ka, kailangan 3 years of experience na. And dapat ito, 3 years of experience sa same field, same industry, or sa same na job title. I would say, ang pinaka-safe bet mo is job title. Like, for example, if lead generation specialist ka, email marketer, social media manager, magkakakonect yun. You know? Ayun. Other than that, currently enrolled sa Spanish school. Bet ko to. Oh, that's nice. It's nice na you're, learning Spanish very early on. I wish that's something that I did before I moved here. And that's why I tell my clients, I don't know if they listen, but I always tell my clients to learn a little bit of Spanish while waiting. Kasi think positive, like manifest na, okay, mag-aaral na ako ng Spanish because I'm manifesting na magmo-move na ako sa Spain like next year, ganon. So definitely, that's what I tell to clients all the time. That like I help them apply for the digital nomad visa. In Spain ka na ba now? Yes po. So right now I'm in Spain. I'll currently be traveling around December, around Eudo, just because we're celebrating our 5th anniversary, tapos birthday nung dog ko. So we wanted to do something special because he's also gonna be like, I think 5 or 6 years old. Ayun. 3 years po in one client or combined na? Combined na. So, different roles or different clients. Combined yon. Basta as much as possible, uninterrupted. Like, wala kang bungi. Ganon. How much is the income requirement? The income requirement for a single applicant, pag wala kang dependents, if you're applying here in Spain, is 2,763 euros. That is allowed ang multiple clients. So, pwede mong combined income ng multiple clients mo. And pwede din na this is before taxes. How did you apply po? So, I do have my DIY guide on my website, so you can check that on the link in bio. But definitely, it would depend kung paano. So, in my case, personally, I did the consulate first. So, nag-ano ako sa consulate. Because around that time, hindi pa sila naghahanap ng income tax return. So, it wasn't, hindi pa ganun kapahirapan yung pag-a-apply. But definitely ngayon, naghahanap na kasi sila ng income tax return sa consulate. Compared dito sa UHE or directly here in Spain, hindi pa sila naghahanap ng income tax return to prove your 3 years of work experience. And with me, hindi connected yung degree ko sa work experience ko. Ate, what's your thoughts regarding student visa? Well, the student visa is good if you want to study here, if you have the money for it. Ganyan, it's a good experience to immerse yourself in a different culture and of course to like, finish your schooling. However, with the student visa, hindi kasi siya counted for the 2 years of legal residency na ini-aim mo if you want to apply for citizenship. So with the digital nomad visa, you will get legal residency kasi dito sa Spain, yung 3 years na makukuha mo dito sa, yung 3-year residence permit na makukuha mo dito sa Spain, under the digital nomad visa path. So, yun kasi, from the time na na-approve ka, magka-count yun, yung as 2 years legal residency. However, sa student visa, hindi. So, unless makahanap ka ng work talaga, yung magpapapel sa'yo, mahirap siya i-count as legal residency. How much po rent mo? Right now, we're paying about 700, 750 euros for our two-bedroom apartment. But this is a rare gem, but it's also very old. Currently working po as dev. Parang gusto ko rin mag-digital nomad. Oh, so we're in the same field. So that's definitely nice. But yeah, for nomad visa girl, need ba talaga degree holder ang main applicant? VA na kami for 10 years. No, so we just talked about that na hindi kailangan na may degree ka. It's a and or situation. So pwedeng may degree ka, pwede kang may 3 years work experience, or both, or isa lang yung meron ka. Pwedeng may degree ka lang and related siya sa job title mo, or pwedeng 3 years of work experience tapos related, like 3 years yun na pare-pareho yung job title mo or at least in the same industry. So, hindi kailangan na may tinapos ka sa college. Pwede po ba senior high school? Yeah, definitely. Magkano po tax monthly po ba for the digital nomad visa? So I did do a breakdown post on my page about that kasi it gets complicated depending kung saan yung route mo. But definitely, yung tax, for example, for me as an autonomo or self-employed, I'm paying about 20 to 21% of what I make and I pay that every quarterly and then kinoconsolidate yun at the end of the year. How much po ang required income? The minimum income requirement is 2,763 euros. If you're applying here in Spain, ayan ay for one applicant lang, so wala kang dependent. And ano yan, kailangan 3 months ka na nag-earn ng ganyan. What if po if I don't have ITR planning to apply a DNV? So you can apply here in Spain na hindi pa siya hinahanap. So you have to get a Schengen tourist visa and apply here. So far wala pa namang hinahanap kahit sa mga clients ko na nag-a-apply. But with the consulate, hinahanap talaga siya. Pero you can always try. That's your prerogative naman. Lalo if you're doing it yourself, like yung nagdi-DIY ka. That's definitely fine. Hi ate. Hi JC. Ayan, how much required income? Okay, I think we answered this and we answered the ITR din naman. Ayan, so let's get back on track about the costs of applying for digital nomad visa. Start natin with the consulate. So of course, kailangan mong i-amount yung documents, yung pagkuha ng documents. So for example, sa PSA document, like umaabot yan mga 150, 200 per document. So birth certificate, marriage certificate, yung mga ganon. And then, of course, yung NBI clearance is like 160 siya doon sa portal. And then, it depends pa kung ipapa-LBC mo yun or ipapa-pick up. And then, for people na diploma yung gagamitin, of course, kailangan na naka-CHED-CAV yun. So, yung diploma mo, kailangan siya is certification, authentication, and verification ng CHED or the Commission of Higher Education sa Philippines. I think it's Commission on Higher Education. Ayan. And yeah, that cost around 500. Depende kung nagpa-provide na din ng service na to yung alma mater mo. Minsan mas mahal siya, pero mas mabilis pag sila na yung mag-a-apply on your behalf. And then, another thing is yung, of course, sa DFA. Yung appointment itself, isa lang yung counted doon na i-apostille na document and that's 200 pesos. And of course, iba pa yung bayad mo kung may multiple documents ka. I think right now it's 130 for expedited document and then iba pa kung ipapa-LBC mo or ipipick up mo. So you have to also think about yung gastos mo when it comes to like transportation sa pagpunta, pag-go around, ganyan. And then ako nun, I remember pa, tuwing may matatapos ako na step, I feel like I need to like eat outside, like kailangan ka um, ramen nagi or something afterwards, ganon. Oh, thank you so much guys for the hearts. Ayun. Sorry, what documents needed po sa CHED? Yung diploma mo ang need. If maganda yung grades mo, you can also include your TOR. Pero generally, it's just your diploma and ipapakav yun. So, certification, authentication, and verification. And then, tsaka siya ipapa-DFA apostille. And then the next is, of course, yung certificate of good standing. So, madaming nagtatanong na to, paano kunin, paano kunin. Depende to kung saan naka-base yung client mo. In the US, some states allow you to get it yourself, like independently. Some states, kailangan nila ng permission ng client mo na i-request mo yung document na to. And iba-iba din kasi yung tawag sa kanya. Minsan certificate of incorporation, minsan certificate of fact, minsan certificate of status. But pag yun yung makikita mo, like for example, for Australian clients, is certificate of incorporation. Yung pagkuha pa lang netong document na to will cost you about $40, ganan niya. Pero depende to like I said, depende siya dun sa place na pinanggalingan. Depende siya kung saan si client mo naka-base or yung operations niya or yung business niya, saan siya naka-incorporated. But other than that, kailangan mo pa yon ipa-apostle. Ngayon, saan siya ipapa-apostle? Hindi po sa DFA. Unless si client mo ay naka-base sa Philippines. Kailangan i-apostle siya kung saan galing na place. So, for example, in the US, kung saang state secretary, doon siya ipapa-apostle. For Australia, kailangan sa Australian Embassy. Pwede yan dun sa Pilipinas. And then, for example, for Canada, it's the Global Affairs, yung mag-apostle niya. So, it really depends kung saan or galing yung document mo. And usually, that will cost you very differently kasi depende kung ikaw yung makukuha mo on your own or client mo yung kukuha. Of course, yun para baka malibre ka na, ganyan. So, ayun. Depende talaga siya. But most likely than not, it will run you about $100. Ganyan. Yung pagpapa-apostle, ganon. Nasa Spain ka na te. Yes po. Hello, I'm a business owner. You think DNV will work better for me? It actually depends on your business and yung structure type niya, saan siya naka-incorporated. Definitely, you can go to my link in bio. I also have a qualification survey doon or qualifying survey and you get like libreng consultation call afterwards if you are qualified. Ayun. Tapos, next is yung, of course, yung ITR or COR from BIR. So, ito might cost you upwards of 500 kasi kailangan duly legalized siya. So, kailangan i-stamp ng BIR. Alam ko maraming nagsasabi na, ay, like, tawag dito, ang dami nagsasabi na hindi na daw ini-stamp yung BIR. BIR na yung mga ITR, ganyan. Technically, hindi. Pero dahil kailangan mo kasi siya for this application, pwede mo siyang i-request sa RDO nyo na BIR kung ano yung regional district office dyan. Need ba marunong mag-Spanish agad? No po. You need only yung Spanish pag mag-a-apply ka na for citizenship, which is after 2 years under the Digital Nomad Visa Path. Okay, next na tayo is yung NIE application. So, yung NIE or your foreign identity number here in Spain is basically, ito yung number mo, parang, ito yung national ID number mo. Pero as a foreigner, here in Spain, oh my God. Wait lang. Hmm. Lang guys. Oh my God. Ayan. At yan. Tapos, next natin is yung, ayan, so yung NIE, kinukuha to sa consulate. So, you can look up yung NIE DIY guide ko din na nasa website. So, ayan, libre naman lahat yon. So, nandun lang siya sa website. You just have to peruse there, dun sa DIY, under the DIY guide section. Tapos, other than that, of course, yung NIE per se, Kasi pagpunta mo doon in person sa consulate doon sa Makati, may fee yun. It's 610 pesos. Before, nung nag-apply ako, 600 lang siya. Pero ngayon daw sa clients ko, 610 na. So, nagtaas na. Kasi siguro yung account for the difference ng um, euros sa pesos. But yeah, it's 610 pesos na yung NIE na fee. And then, of course, there's also the passport size photo. Ito kailangan Schengen visa, yung size. So, definitely, ito mga 150, ganon. Minsan 80 nga lang siya eh. Check nyo yung mga sa Picture City, sa SM, ganon. Definitely yung mga ganong places. Alam nila yung parang standard. But it's basically 35 millimeters by 45 millimeters, I believe. Ayun. So, check that out. But I think it's around 150, 300, ganyan. And then for the next one is the medical certificate. Ito, depende kung saan mo siya kukunan. But so far, kung yung mga accredited that I know are in Cebu, in Manila, of course, and meron din sa Iloilo. So, alam ko yun yung mga ano, and usually yung range ng cost niya is about 3,000 to about 5,000 per head, yung medical certificate, and kasama na yung DOH certification doon. Kasi kailangan mo ng DOH certification para mapa-apostle mo siya. Okay. Girl, gusto ko rin check ko yung website mo. Yeah, thank you. Definitely check out the website. What's the monthly income requirement for married couples po? So, if you have one dependent coming with you here in Spain, it's 3,799 euros if you're applying from here directly in Spain. Ngayon, watch out kasi mas mataas itong 3,799 compared sa pag mag-a-apply ka sa consulate. And we talked about the pros and cons, and you can rewatch it on Monday sa YouTube ko to ina-upload, yung long form. But yon, so pinag-usapan natin yung pros and cons a little earlier. So, ayun, pag mag-a-apply ka sa consulate, I think it's about 2,800. But I also have on my pinned videos yung per dependent, yung main applicant plus one dependent plus two dependent, ganyan. Nakalagay siya in euros. And I do it in euros because in the beginning of Ate in Spain, I posted yung peso. But right now kasi, 4 months, 5 months later, very mababa na yung yung palitan. So, to be accurate and to make sure na qualified talaga kayo, I suggest you follow yung closing rates ng forex exchange every day with the euros kung pasok talaga yung income nyo. Other than that, another thing is yung, of course, printing and Xerox costs. What I tell people, especially for people na may dependents or multiple yung clients, because that means, lalo kung sa consulate ka mag apply well, actually, kahit sa dito kasi directly in Spain mag apply bumili na kayo nung kahit mumurahin lang na printer and scanner. Kasi, it's really important to have it all on hand kasi mahal talaga yung pagpaprint. With me, parang umabot din ako throughout the process kasi syempre may piprint ka rin for your DFA appointment, for like, yung mga appointment na yan, may mga ipiprint ka lagi. So, I would suggest to just get one. I think there's one in Shopee for about parang 2,800, something like that. Kuha ka na ng ganon, tapos, bili ka ng rim ng A4 kasi A4 usually yung yung pagpaprint ng mga documents. And that will make life a lot easier for you. You don't have to depend on kailan magbubukas yung printing, copier, shop, ganyan. So, hindi mo kailangan isipin yon kasi you have it in your house. So, I think that's better na option. But the printing and Xerox usually cost, if for one person, about 1,000 pesos. But of course, if you have dependents or you have multiple clients, that's more things you have to print. Okay, question, may free scholarship po ba dyan for college students? I don't do the student visa, unfortunately, because I do know some about it, pero hindi ako yung nagmamagaling eh. Like, if hindi ko pa siya na-try or hindi ko pa yan nagawa, I won't say if I know, like, yung alam ko or something. But definitely follow I think there's this couple on TikTok that have the student visa and moved to Spain. I forgot lang their name, pero also very helpful yung Filipino immigration questions for Spain na group sa Facebook. That's very helpful. Ayun. Other than that, go tayo sa next one, which is yung sworn translations. Ito, medyo kinakabahan lahat. Lagi sa sworn translations. Because they always think that sworn translations, lahat ng documents mo is sworn translate and stuff. But definitely, we talked about that, I think at the last live, kung ano lang yung mga iso-sworn translate. So, definitely, yung sa pagsusworn translate, hindi lahat isusworn translate mo. And usually, it's 20 to 25 euros per page. So, this is a chunk of yung gastos would be on the sworn translation. Kasi hindi siya pwedeng kung sino lang na Poncio Pilato na marunong mag-Spain, mag-Spanish, yung dito, yung translate. Kailangan, ano siya, sworn or parang registered siya on approved ng Spain, itong interpreter or translator na to. Other than that, of course, yung bank statements, minsan naniningil pa yung mga bangko sa pagpaprint ng statement. Eh, girl, para mo naman yun. Tapos gusto mo lang kunin yung documentation and they act like, oh my God, I can't even believe na pinapabayad yon. And apparently daw, parang minsan per page pa yung bayad. So, ayun. But definitely, you have to ask your bank. Pero for some banks, it's about like 500 per page or if, I mean per request ng 3 months usually yung binibigay nila or 6 months. Then other than that, we also have of course the BLS appointment. The BLS appointment is about 1,040 pesos and yung premium nila, parang may added yon na fee. But of course, there's also the visa fee, which is around 12,000 pesos and including naman na yung taxes. So, depends talaga siya kung gaano kadami yung dependents mo. Kasi of course, dependents means more documents and more clients means more documents. And then depende din kung saan ka nakabase. So, in my libreng consultation, ganyan, I always ask saan sila nakabase na city. Because I want to know how hassle sa kanila to go to Makati para kung kunyari, kung kailangan nila kumuha ng NIE, ano pa ba yung mga pwedeng isabay para isabay ng isahan yung punta nila for Manila. So, definitely, part of the gastos then is yung logistics. Ayun. Other than that, I also want to talk a little bit more about, give me a second. Ayan. 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 Sorry, parang na-pause ata siya. But I also want to talk about yung costs if mag-a-apply naman kayo sa Spain or directly here in Spain. And I guess the first thing na, wait lang, hinahanap ko siya. Hanapin natin. Wait lang guys. Ayun, first and foremost talaga, yung gastos dito is yung pagkuha ng tourist or visit visa. Kasi that means more documents na kailangan mong i-prepare, which is mga COE, mga proof of ties, kailangan mo kumuha ng SSS, minsan ITR. Pero lately, just a heads up for freelancers out there, hindi na sila naghahanap ng ITR. It's just a good more added proof. But generally speaking, hindi naman na sila naghahanap, which is very good for us. But other or for some people na hindi nagre-register for BIR, but definitely hindi na 'yon hinahanap recently sa kasi ang dami nagtatanong doon sa group kung paano naman daw eto kasi hindi wala din daw ITR and kailangan daw nandun daw 'yun sa checklist. So nandun siya sa checklist. But if you have, like substantial proof, like pakita mo yung contracts mo, pakita mo yung COE mo, i-outline mo siya, and all that, you'll definitely have a very good chance din naman. And we also process kasi yung mga when I say we, I mean me, process Schengen visa. And yun, makikita nyo din dun sa my Blue App na group. Definitely, um, marami din namang na-approve without like ITR, ganyan. Ayun, nahanap ko na yung directly in Spain. Okay, let's go. Ayun, so bukod dun sa documents na napag-usapan natin kanina, ang tatanggalin nyo dun yung medical certificate. Kasi in Spain, hindi na kailangan for application yung medical certificate and yung private insurance. So yung private insurance, usually I would go for FEDER kasi cancelable siya after mo ma-approve. And kahit 1 month lang, per month yung bayad niya. I kept my FEDER though because they're really good. I have a lot of pre-existing conditions and very good sila sa pag customer service and all that. So I definitely recommend them. But other than that, of course, another good thing is hindi mo na kailangan ng hard copies mo if doon ka sa Spain mag-a-apply. Kasi yung mga hard copies, basically, hindi mo na siya need. So, kunyari, yung client mo or mag-order ka ng certificate of good standing, pwedeng scanned copy na lang. Kasi additional pang fee, yung shipping fee nung certificate of good standing pag shinip siya sa address mo. If kunyari kung galing siya sa US, sometimes it will cost about $70 $75 pag I think FedEx yung gamit. Yeah. So that's another thing. But other than that, it's usually like the same. Wala lang NIE din. So if you're applying with a consultant, hindi mo na kailangan yung NIE. But if you're applying on your own, kailangan mo yung NIE and yung Certificado Digital or basically yung digital certificate na parang yan yung logins mo to be able to apply for yourself with the digital nomad visa application. And then other than that, yung parang pinaka visa fee or tax fee nila is 73.26 euros. So, yun yung talagang mas mababa siya compared sa consulate na about 12,000 yung hinihingi for parang application fee. Other than that though, you have to also think yung cost talaga nung sa Schengen visa kasi parang 5,000 yung Schengen tourist visa fee usually. And then yung travel insurance na kailangan mong kunin. Kasi for all intents and purposes, you're going there as a tourist. And I don't know, you fell in love with Spain and you want to apply for digital nomad visa. Ganon. Pero yun talaga yung way to go to Spain and apply here directly. Talagang tourist or visit visa yung ginagamit. Show money po ba mag-apply sa work sa Spain? So, with the digital nomad visa, you don't apply for work in Spain. Mag-a-apply ka basically, like, kailangan freelancer ka na. So, may clients ka na. Kaya pinapakita mo yung contracts mo, yung employments mo so far. Client po kayo or agency sa VA nyo po? Direct client na po ako. I think mahirap to upgrade for, I guess, like yung minimum income requirement if you're under an agency unless may multiple ka na clients. Ayun. Where nyo po na-find yung client nyo? In-observe nila ako after VA agency. But I also have my own like website where I help other small business owners digitize and automate basically their businesses. Ganon. Do you know Spanish po? I'm starting to really learn it to lock in and at least do the exam already before my 2 years finish para pagkadating nung 2 years makakapag-apply na. So that's what I am really aiming for yung sa citizenship, yung pagkuha ng Spanish passport. But congratulations sa lahat ng na-approve for lay memoria, which is yung bagong system nila na if you have grandparents na may Spanish birth certificate. So really congratulations to those people na nakakuha na ng passport kaagad. Wala nang kailangan na um, legal residency or anything like that. How much po yung gastos for visa? So we did do a breakdown. We're actually just also doing that, but we're about at the end of it. So pwede mo naman i-rewatch to over on YouTube, which is still Ate in Spain din naman. Yung name, So yeah, you can definitely rewatch this buong replay yung ina-upload ko doon. But without of course yung mga comments and stuff like that. Ayun. Ano po level ng Spanish nyo? Right now, I'm trying to aim for a little bit higher than A2. But yeah, I'm around the A2 level so far, but hopefully we can finish the A2 level exam and everything will be fine. Spanish lang po ang live birth ng mama ko kasi Chavacano po siya. Pwede po ba written in Spanish? No, it has to be like released ng Spanish authorities yung birth certificate. By the way, it's so weird but buhay pa din yung orchid ko, guys. I can't believe it na buhay pa din siya. Tama yung nag-reco sa akin before na dapat daw hindi nasa direct sunlight. So, parang mas nabuhay siya nung medyo shaded na. Ayan. As a freelancer, do you say sa interview sa client na may other client ka pa, planning to add client? Unless it's asked, no. Also, it depends sa industry mo. Yung industry ko kasi is I'm more provide project based, so in a sense na I'll automate your system, and then may retainer fee for the maintenance, or if may additional silang papagawa and stuff like that. Isa lang talaga yung client ko na 9 to 5 kumbaga, like may log in log out, that type of thing, and siya lang yung ano ko dineclare ko sa application ko for the Spain DNV. Ayun. Sis, how much salary need for DNV? So, it's 2,736 euros for one single applicant if mag-apply ka here in Spain. And this is before taxes and allowed ang multiple clients. However, magtataas very soon yung minimum income requirement at the beginning of the year. Usually, ang announcement niyan is by January. But definitely will try to be the first person na mag-post about it. And yeah, hopefully it's only about 3 to 5%, but genuinely I cannot assure people na 3 to 5% lang yung itataas niya. So I always tell people na have some overhead of about 300 to 400 euros than the monthly income requirement right now, because there are a lot of digital nomads na in Spain, and there's also this program called non-lucrative visa where you're not allowed to work at all, need ng savings mo. So this is more for retirees and pension na people. But basically, Spain's economy is doing really well. So it might reflect on the minimum wage that they're gonna set. Kasi yung minimum income requirement, naka-base siya dun sa minimum wage here in Spain. So the minimum wage here in Spain times 200% or times 2 is the minimum income requirement that you need to reach for the digital nomad visa. And then 75% nung minimum income requirement is for your first dependent, and any dependent after that is 25% times the minimum wage. Tapos i-add mo yon, and yun, dun mo makukuha yung total. I also have this breakdown on a post na pinned sa profile ko. So you can also go check that out. But definitely, yun yung first step, I would say, about the digital nomad visa is really reaching that minimum income requirement. And I hope, to be honest, it's for me, maybe this is the sign, guys, that you are being underpaid, because there are a lot of Filipinos already here. So that means attainable tong income na to. So don't get too down about it. Maybe ito yung time mo na to, like, focus, manifest, and okay, eto na. Ito yung goal ko for makapag-apply for digital nomad visa, or dapat mag-upskill na ako kasi I see a lot of people moving to Spain, ganyan. Okay? Let me just answer some of the questions. 4,000 USD per month, pwede na po ba? Yeah, definitely. You can also do the qualification survey I have on my website, and libreng free libreng free libreng consultation call if you qualify. And then Net of tax, 4,000 USD per month. Yeah, definitely. I see. Magkano pa show money for Schengen visa? Bale, couple kami pupunta. It depends on kung saang Schengen country kayo and stuff like that. Actually, I collaborated with a Schengen visa consultant, but we're still in the works of doing the automations and set up nung pinaka business plan. So probably we'll launch it earliest next week. But definitely we'll be offering yung Schengen visa na consultation call then. But show money na safe, I would say is about upwards of 500K dapat yung nasa bank nyo. Especially kung dalawa kayo. Kasi doon talaga yung nakabase yung sa proof of financial savings mo, proof na kumikita ka yung financial stability mo, and then proof of ties, proof na babalik ka. Kasi for all intents and purposes, you're not gonna say na mag-apply ka for digital nomad visa. You're gonna say you're there for touristic purposes. Ayun. So, I hope that helped. Ayun, definitely. Because sometimes people would ask me questions and then leave me hanging kung nasagot ka ba yung question. Ayun, but definitely thank you guys for asking really good insightful questions then. Ayun. Other than that, ayun. Yes, definitely. Puwede po ba pauwi-uwi kapag may DMV? Paano if balak po mag-citizenship after? Need po ba 2 years? So, if mag-a-apply ka for citizenship, kailangan hindi lalagpas ng 45 days out of each year for the 2-year legal residence yung paglabas mo ng Spain. So, kailangan, if uuwi ka ng Pilipinas, siguro for less than 45 days in total. So, pwedeng 15 days sa Pasko, 15 days sa Valentine's kung may jowa ka, gano'n. So, kailangan mong i-ano doon, hindi siya lalagpas ng 45 days and be diligent about collecting. That's why I also tell people, kailangan mo ng scanner, kailangan mo ng printer kasi it's good to be diligent with your invoices and with proof na you're legally in Spain, yung paglabas-pasok mo. Especially with the EES system, yung entry-exit system now, na madali ma-trace kung like gaano ka katagal lumabas and stuff like that. And they're trying or at least aiming na wala na or ma-abolish na yung stamp sa passport. Thank you so much, Lexi. Or Lexine pala. Ayan. So, thank you so much. Ayun. But other than that, I hope, um, I don't think they will discontinue the digital nomad visa, but it is something that's always at the back of my mind. I wonder if they will discontinue it and like what a shame, right? Ganon. Bukod sa tumataas yung minimum income requirement each year. Just because I had this scare kasi they discontinued the golden visa, which is the visa yung ginamit ni Bea Alonzo to get her Spanish citizenship, which is basically she bought a house here in Spain. So they discontinued that. But we were talking like my friends and I who are already here with the Spain Digital Nomad visa then. And kami din ng mga clients ko na na-approve na ganyan. We were talking and yeah, we think hindi naman siguro maghihigpit like for example sa consulate nag-ask na ng ITR ganon. Pero I don't think ma-remove siya. If multiple pa na client, yung titingnan po ba yung client na pinakamataas na kinikita na client? No. They will need to look at all of the documents for all of your clients or a gross po ng multiple clients. So, titignan nila lahat yon and then, yeah, pag i-compute, ipagpa-plus ka niya. Nagka-gold visa po ba dahil bumili ng house? Yeah. Marami po ba ang nag-DNV to citizenship route? So, the DNV kasi just got launched mid-2023. So, technically speaking, we're just about to see mga people na nag-apply na for citizenship or who knows if merong nag-apply that early nung pagkalabas, nag-apply na kaagad sila. So, let's hope to hear from people soon. But definitely, like for example, non-lucrative visa, which is kind of similar to the NDE, but for different people, may mga Pilipino na nakapagkuha ng Spanish citizenship nila. Which city is best to live in Spain po? With good bilingual schools sana and not that expensive. Okay, let's answer that one by one. Which city is the best to live in Spain? There's not really a best city. Like hindi mo siya mapipili kasi iba-iba yung vibe nila. Like for example, south of Spain is more Moorish, more very iba din yung culture and stuff like that. And then sa top naman sa like north of Spain, like here in Barcelona, they really retained your like Spanish heritage and all that. So, yun, cultural wise. And then another thing is, of course, yung transportation. So, some cities are better at it than others. And then, of course, yung the people, which I feel is something that you really need to consider if nice ba yung people or like they're rude, ganyan, 'di ba? So, you have to check that out as well. And another thing is yung price. Like, afford ba? Like, this might be the best city, but can you afford to live there? Because for me, anyway, like, kinikaya naman namin dito sa Barcelona. But, I want to be closer to like my clients, my friends na nandun sa south of Spain. So, we're really thinking of moving after we get the citizenship. And tapos na, ganon. Good bilingual schools are always kung saan yung mga expats. So, expat cities like Valencia, Malaga, Madrid, but also Barcelona, but also mahal. So, like not that expensive probably is Valencia. Pero sabi nila medyo mahal na din daw dun sa Valencia eh. Thank you po. When is the best month to move to Spain? I heard mahirap daw po makahanap ng house. I would say bare months. Not really that there is a best month, but iwasan mo yung month na summer na, magsa-summer na or summer na. And yung month na paparat pa start na ng school kasi marami ring dumadating for their student visa. So, iwasan mo yung months na yun. But usually, generally, around winter months, medyo mas free up yung mga places. Schools for kids po in relation to the question above. Yeah, so I did answer that din naman as well. How much para makarating sa Spain? So there is a minimum income requirement depende if may dependents ka and stuff, and you can find that on the video sa link sa video sa nakapin sa ano ko sa profile. Kakabalik ko lang sa TikTok. Ito po ba si Bini Maloy? Hoy! Yazirawa. Akala ko in-unfollow mo na ako. Charis. Ayun. How about Seville and Ibiza? Also, Seville is two, para siyang, equivalent niya sa Italy is, what do I say this? Amalfi Coast where people summer there. Alam mo yan, yung mga ganon sa sa English TikTok. Yung people, nagbabakasyon doon. So, vacation hotspot siya. And you don't want that kasi ang kakompetition mo ng bahay is mga Americans, British people, mga white people, ganyan. And same with Ibiza. And Ibiza is like a party central. So of course you can go there and come visit, but staying there on the long term is not really good kasi they don't also give long-term contracts kasi most probably than not they're earning and racking up a lot of money with Airbnbs. So thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Monica. People really thank me. That's nice. Stella Louise, how much pa need na income for getting the nomad visa? It's 2,763 euros per month. That's gross and ano siya, pwedeng multiple clients galing para ma-meet mo yung pinaka-income. Work ka pa nag-study ng Spanish language. Right now, I'm doing self-study and one-on-one coaching for the DELE A2 exam. I was supposed to take it December. However, I didn't know that my partner planned a trip on December, so I probably won't do it on December, but probably like Q1 or Q2 of next year I'll take the exam. Is it better to get the nomad visa or the student visa? If qualified ka for the nomad visa, I'd say go for it because you only need to stay here legally for 2 years and you get the citizenship. Student visas are a stay visa and not a residence visa, so you cannot really get the citizenship after 2 years. How's the weather po ngayon dyan? It's very cold right now, but I'm also a very lamigin na girly. So, I'm not sure, but I cannot go out with just this. I have to like put on a sweater. I love the sweater from Pop Flex. Yeah, it's Pop Flex Active. If alam nyo si Blog Lattice, yeah, I love her sweaters. They're really good and they're really cute. So, I wear that a lot when I go out. Or, actually, yung dog ko, parang sobrang antsy na siya kasi hindi kami lumalabas. Laging sa backyard lang namin siya pinapatay. So, ayun, medyo antsy na siya and gusto niyang lumabas. But I've been busy then the whole week and I'm doing kind of an emergency meeting after this call for one of like now a client. Nagdi-DIY kasi siya and then medyo hindi na kinary. So, ayun, we have to like kind of do an emergency thing since I know his situation naman from the beginning. Ayun. Ano pa qualifications as for nomad visa? So, first and foremost is remote worker ka ba? So, kailangan remote ka talaga. Like, work from home ka talaga. Second is, you either have a degree na hindi related sa, kailangan meron kang degree na related sa kung ano yung work title mo right now, or dapat may 3 years of work experience ka na sa industry na to or sa job title na to. So, kahit iba-ibang clients ka for the past 3 years, basta mako-consolidate mo yung mga COE, mga contracts mo sa kanila. And then, the next is, kailangan may NBI clearance ka. Kailangan yung company na engage ka with, yung client mo ay dapat company talaga siya and in good standing sila. Meaning, nagbabayad sila ng taxes, incorporated sila. And then, another thing is, dapat i-consolidate mo yung contract, COE, bank statement, and if sa consulate ka mag-a-apply, naghahanap sila ng income tax return. So, dapat yun lahat ay consistent sa documents mo. Ayun. Um, the qualifications though, you can definitely check out on my website. It's www.ateinspain.com. Ayun. How to not feel guilty of leaving my parents in the Philippines. Oh, oh my God. Are we gonna get sad in this life? Um, I don't know. Like, are you even like, is there even a way to not feel guilty? I feel guilty of everyone I left in the Philippines. Like, I'm glad I really uh like fought against all odds na dalhin yung dog ko with me. I was like, okay, it's gonna be extra money and all that, but I'd rather really bring him. So that's really good. But I think hindi mo mawawala yung guilt, especially with what's happening right now in the Philippines. Yung mga nasasalanta, and it's all so not like like avoidable, or there hindi gano'n kalaki yung toll or that toll if there was something that was done or put in place, you know. And those people were already like informing the government na ganito yung mangyayari, and you know, like it's just so defeating and you feel that guilt. And I think a lot of OFWs feel that na they're enjoying this that's why I also don't post much about, you know, like our daily life here or whatever when we travel, ganyan. As much as possible, very limited yung post ko unless it's something really substantial na, oh, I really like this, or there's something's really special. But I think yung pag rose-colored glasses about moving abroad, like I always tell my clients, hindi ka lang financially dapat ready. Dapat emotionally ready ka din, that you'll be very far from your friends. As adults, you know, we have our friends now na back in the Philippines, parang it takes a week or two na magplano, naglalabas kayo kasi lahat kayo working. And then dito, that's just gone. That's just out of the window. Though my friends and I still catch up a lot, you know, through call or mag Discord kami or maglalaro ganyan. But it's still different to, you know, talk to people. Physically ganyan. So I think there's never gonna be way to not feel guilty. But as I was editing my video today, and one of the topic was you cannot pour from an empty cup. So, hindi pwedeng bigay ka ng bigay, and hindi pwedeng it's all about everyone that you love. You have to also love yourself para mabigay mo yung love na yun. So for me, that's my thought process that I love my children so much, probably more than how I love my parents, that I'm willing to like sacrifice feeling guilty and all that so they can get a better passport and stuff like that. Ganon. So ayun, I think it's all about like trying to do that mindset while you're here. And of course, it also makes me feel better na I do these lives, yung mga libreng consultation and stuff like that, answering people's questions. Because it feels like I wouldn't be here alone and feeling the same feeling. Like, like when I moved here more than a year ago, feel mo talaga yun. Like, there's no way going around it. And then I connected with, like-minded people, ganyan. Hindi naman kailangan na Pilipino, kakalose mo agad. So, kailangan ano din yung mga ka-vibe mo, ganyan. And when I found them, it was really like a lifesaver for me to, be able to have someone na parang have the same sentiments sa'yo. Ganon. Things to bring before leaving the Philippines. Pwede bang i-bring mo na yung parents mo? Yun yung sagot ni ano. Yung si Rao Charis. Things to bring before leaving. I'm not the best person to ask that because I'm not a minimalist at all. I don't like ito yung travel essentials lang yung dadalhin ko. Whatever. I was I had like four check-in bags with me. That's when like something's wrong here. I moved very early on kasi in my life. I think I moved when I was like 16, 17, away from our family house. So like, naipon yung sentimental things. And I've been working since I was like 17. So, really, I had a lot of stuff. And no matter how much na, okay, iwan ko to sa bahay ni mama, iwan ko to sa ganto, ganyan, ibibigay ko to sa friend ko, it still was not enough. I still had so much stuff. And I still have stuff in the Philippines that I didn't bring here. So I hope my mom is enjoying all of them. So yeah, I brought a lot. So I don't think I'm the best person to ask, but definitely mga travel essentials na hindi dapat mawawala. And of course, documents wise, I feel like it's easy now. Everything's online. As long as you have family or someone in the Philippines, you can request everything online naman na. Pati yung NBI mo, unless may hit ka. Then, pag may hit ka, kailangan mo pa magpa-fingerprint sa embassy. Pero that's easy enough. Like, hindi na siya kagaya ng mga times when people were migrating na pahirapan mag-request ng diploma, ng PSA, kung wala ka doon, kailangan mo ng authorized representative. So, were those days, which is nice. Ano po usually reasons para ma-deny if sa Pinas mag-apply aside sa walang ITR and di na-meet yung income? If they actually wala. Kasi kung mako-complete mo yung requirements, wala talagang visa denial. To be honest with you, they ask for an additional requirement first. So, dun ka na magkaka-clue in kung saang part of your application sila may problema. Like, proof ba nung 3 years work experience mo or whatever. Dun mo na makukluin eh. And then, once na nasubmit mo naman yon, wala kang problema. Pero of course, pag di mo masubmit, doon ka magkakaproblema. I also did a video about that, yung parang top 5 things why your visa might get denied. Pero genuinely, pag kompleto documents mo, naayos mo siya, wala namang problema. And don't forget, sometimes they also make mistakes. So baka nagtanong sila, wait, naipasa ko na to, ba't tinanong? So you can just go there. Kasi pupuntahan mo talaga siya and tell them na I submitted this. Or at least give them like another copy. So that's why I tell people to scan all of their documents before ipasa. Kasi walang balikan yun eh. Hindi ka na ibabalik sa'yo. Any work basta 3 years, it has to be on the same industry or same na job title. How much is the minimum requirement for one person for digital nomad? It's 2,763 euros if you're applying here in Spain. Choosing ourselves is not selfish naman siguro. Of course. Of course naman. Hindi naman yun selfish. Especially for a thing na, of course, you will be like, be able to share the fruits of your labor. Kung, alam mo na, kung full na yung cup mo, tsaka ka pwede mag-pour more for other people. Pero kailangan din, unahin mo yung sarili mo for the meantime. Yes, puwede na akong mag-Miss Universe, guys. Good evening. In effect pa po ba yung Spanish citizenship by descent? Currently, no. It's discontinued, or like yung applications, they stop accepting after October 21st or 22nd. Yeah. Thanks, Alex. Appreciate you answering my question. Oh, thank you so much. What if po two yung job title? So, does that mean like magkaiba na industry? Like, tell me, Jules, kung ano yung specific mo na job title. Ayun. Chat mo sa chat kung ano yung specific. In-demand job in Spain? I'm not sure because I don't really look for jobs here in Spain. Kasi most of my clients are outside of Spain. But recently, I think because of TikTok and stuff, some business owners did find me, and I have a project-based contract now at like a clients from Netherlands, so that's really good. So yun yung ano mo dito, if you're a freelancer and stuff like that, that would be really good to have. Pero if you're saying like mga in-demand jobs dito, would of course depend on you. Pero genuinely, there are other, especially if ano kayo yung lay memoria. Kung lay memoria kasi, meron ka ng citizenship. So, pwede ka na kung san-san pumunta sa Europe para mag-apply. Same industry po. E-com, creative strategies, and media buyer. That's under the same industry. So, yeah, counted na yung dalawang ano mo. Walang problema. Strict po ba ang Spain for side hustle, like magtinda ng lumpia, ganon? Te, invoice mo sa Charis. Hindi. Hindi naman yan problema. Like, for example, for me, Ate in Spain is registered in the Philippines. So, sa Philippines ako nagbayad ng taxes and stuff like that. Kasi if dito ko siya i-register, that will add more to the cost kasi 20% yung VAT. So, I didn't want, I want trying to make it as low cost as possible. So, yun yung nakita ko. Like, I did it na, from Ate in Spain. It's under my mom's name. Kasi siya yung nag-process and all that. But technically she's paying me as a consultant. So, ayan. So, pasok pa din for digital nomad. Ayan. Kapag may digital nomad visa ka, pwede ka na mag-apply work din dyan. No. So, you cannot. You cannot work as the main applicant. Pero yung dependents mo na adults, they can work. So, for example, your husband can work yung jobs here in Spain. But ikaw na single applicant, you have to stick to your remote work, to your freelancing job, ganyan, or you as a remote employee. So, kailangan mag-stick ka with that. Wait, sorry. I think, kailangan ko ng tubig. Wait. Ano ba to? I-pause? Thank you. Ayan. Kaya ko ng tubig. Kasi parang feeling ko maubusan na ako ng hininga. Ayun. But definitely, guys, if you have any other questions, you can drop them down below. I hope we already covered yung sa costs of application, but definitely I'll try maybe next week or the week after to talk about yung taxes naman here in Spain. But I definitely think kailangan natin ng visual guide, or I'm thinking about partnering with my kung ano yung ginagamit ko na tax agency, because they did reach out to me if I want to do a partnership. So that's under wraps and doing that as well. So I can get like, discount code for you guys and stuff like that. Ayun. Um, yan. Ayun lang. How's everyone's weekend plans going? Kasi ako wala para akong balak going over the weekend. Thank you. It's like an orange peel stuck in there. Sarap ng tubig pag nainom. Pag hindi ka na makahinga, ganun. Ma'am, nag-ayos po ba kayo ng DNV visa application kasama na yung appointment? Yes po. So you can check out ateinspain.com. Why though? Without me? Oh, okay, okay. Bye. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, no worries, Jules. Thank you for saying thank you. Um, can you speak in Spanish? How did you adapt? No, I when I came here, I didn't know a lick of Spanish, girl. It was hard to adapt. I even if I spoke Spanish, I think it would be hard to adapt. Even now that I'm like can say sentences, can order my food in Spanish, they still like will switch to English and try to practice their English with you. And that's like okay. Like, what am I supposed to say with that? Parang ganun. But definitely, I think things are easier when you're try to be open to experiences, to be extroverted as much as possible, ganyan. But definitely, I think that's how you adapt. Sans Spain po, ma'am. What do you mean Sans Spain? Where I am? I'm in Barcelona po, right now. Oh, wala pong work. This is for digital nomad visa. So, kami po, yung visa na to for Spain is we already have clients, a freelancer kami, or remote workers, and we come here to Spain, basically with that. Magkano po all in charge for DNV application? It's 399 euros. And then 149 euros for dependent. Per depende ko saan kayo mag-apply. But you can check that on yung inclusions, ganyan. Then sa website naman. But definitely, I cannot onboard you unless we do yung libreng consultation call mo na. Because I need, doon sa call na yon, not only do I evaluate your profile, nagsa-strategize din tayo. So that if you want, you can DIY your application as well. Kasi yun talaga yung ano ko I don't onboard a lot of people. I onboard like 10 people at a time now kasi nag-cut back na ako sa hours sa work ko. So, I can now onboard about 10 to 12 people and their families. Um, Ayun, but I don't take a lot. And I'm sorry I can't. But I don't want to make this kasi a big agency. I want it to be as personal and as empathetic as possible. I want to deal with each application na ako, alam mo yun, para hindi feeling ko kasi parang na magiging robot ka na pag like automated lahat or iba na yung alam mo yun. So, I don't want that to happen with my case. So, ayun. Ayun lang naman for me. Kasi ako yung makakausap niyo from beginning to end. So that's why I don't onboard madaming client. Because otherwise baka, oh man, ang daming re-replyan. Gano'n. So, diba? Oo, ayun. Sana M. Dapat sana all yan, pero sana M. Ayun. Ayun. My God, parang ang dilim na. Yung ayoko lang dito, to be honest, is parang minsan sobrang kulimlim. Parang akong madadepress. Hindi ko kaya yun. I'm all about, I don't like rain. Don't like it at all. Kahit nung bata ko, hindi ako naglalaro sa ulan. Kasi, parang, ewan, I'm very melancholic. Parang nalungkot ako. Ako yung bata na nakatingin sa bintana, no? Gumagana pa music video. Ganon. Yun lang yung I think con that I don't like about Europe in general because we traveled to Germany earlier November. Oh my God, it's the same. Parang meron siyang filter na gray. Parang siyang naka-filter. Is 1,000 USD a good budget for an apartment in the three major cities of Spain? Thank you po. Yes, if you're aiming for a studio or a one bedroom. Bumabagyo po ba dyan? Yeah, of course! Bumabagyo dito sa Spain. I think I share it in the group as well. Yung mga minsan may flooding din dito sa certain parts of Spain. Because some of them, of course, are mga, ano siya, parang mga bukirin, ganyan. And some cities, like for example, like Valencia or the Valencian region, medyo ano sila, like malapit kasi sila sa ocean eh. So medyo lapitin talaga sila ng typhoon and I think their drainage system is not perfected yet. Pero so far naman sa mga major cities, hindi masyadong binabaha. Ganon. Meron pa po ba kayo as available slot? I only have one, but I am waiting for someone to like pay. So hopefully, I think next, but I got two approvals kasi last week, but I need to offboard them first. Like that means, yung i-book yung tiya nila, hihintayin na ma-pick up nila yung tiya nila, yung physical residence card and stuff like that. So, ako kasi kasama yun eh, yung post-visa application, makahanap sila apartment, alam mo yun, like, matapos na lahat, and I wanna finish that first for them before I welcome na naman yung isang client, ganon, di ba? Paano mo na-reach yung required income? For me, it was upskilling. I started working when I was 17, as a copywriter, tagagawa ng assignment, tagagawa, nagpuka-copy reading, copywriting ng thesis and stuff like that. Um, I don't know. I think I really I was a bit of a nerd in I was young. I love reading, ganon, and that was good. Um and I love movies and stuff like that. So that's where I got my first job in the parang showbiz industry or something like that. But I mostly in the pageant industry. I worked with Miss Universe Philippines. And doon ako na, parang na-mold talaga social media manager. And then, after that, para kasing, well, corporate work, it took a toll on me. And I switched to freelancing. And yung first job ko actually is social media then. And I didn't like it because there's not much result, diba, pag social media. Kahit gaano ka kagaling, if the business is a small business, it's starting, it's hard to get through that. So I thought of like other ways to leverage yung skills ko and stuff. So I'm very good at design and stuff like that, like marketing, copy, ganyan. And I channeled that into web design, into web development, SEOs, stuff like that. Hanggang sa nag-level up na with coding, I joined Vibe coding classes. Talagang absorb lang na absorb, level up, ganon. Hanggang sa I did operations managing na. And then I do product management, which basically is like dealing with other web developers, app developers, and project management basically, but for web developing. Kasi paano mo sila mamamanage if you don't understand, the language, the tasks. So that's what I do now. But I also have a business in the side where I also offer my services as automizing businesses or digitizing businesses. I do cold outreach, mag-email sa mga businesses na nakikita ko, okay, website nila hindi maayos, process nila hindi maayos, yung mga ganon. So, I do that as well. Ayun. Tapos, yung required income, dun talaga sa isa kong client, yung from the beginning ng freelancing journey ko, halos sa kanila talaga, all thanks to them. Okay. Spouse is dependent, work in Spain. Ano docs required for him or her? Just the TIE. Pag nakuha nyo na yung physical residence card, then he or she can start applying na. When starting to work in Spain na pala, or prior to working. Prior to, okay. So, sa application ba? I'm not sure. Sa application, kailangan lang ng proof of relationship nyo and proof of dependency, like financial dependency and stuff like that. How to book a consultation with you? I have it on my bio. So, I got flagged here a lot on TikTok, on the lives. So I try not to like say anything anymore, but yeah, it's in the bio naman. May recommend po ba kayong school for coding? For me, ha, I didn't I didn't pay for anything. To be honest, I just did Coursera, yung mga free doon. Mga mabibilis mag-share si Bisayang VA, si Tita G, si Molongski, nung mga free na mga classes, free na Coursera, whatever. Simply Learn is also good. If you want to learn more about other stuff. And for vibe coding classes kasi, my client enrolled me in one. And we were pretty close. I mean, we've worked for so long. And she's really near and dear to my heart. Like, my partner gets jealous actually. Kasi sabi ng jowa ko, um, like, lagi daw, priority ka daw. Yun. Priority ko daw lagi si madam. Which is, like, she's more like family to me. Like, I think, even, kung mag-quit ako or anything like that, I think, we'll still be able to, like, connect and stuff like that. Ayun. Thank you po. Hopefully by 2028 makabook na kami na consultation. Yeah, still lacking about 600 USD pa with the company before we can apply. Definitely this is the time to, ask for a raise, add a client to your roster kasi I know that's easier said than done. But we don't know when this visa gonna get discontinued, or anything like that. Sana hindi naman. Pero ayun, I think if ma-reach nyo yun, eto na yung sign nyo from the, ako na, nagsasabi, eto yung sign mo, roam with Ranger from the universe, na, kasi ang daming nakaka-afford to move here. I was really like, I thought also when I applied, na konti lang kami, ganyan. And then, I met with them, I talked to them, and the people that are booking the consult calls, I'm surprised because I do 4 or 5 calls a day. So, imagine mo yun yung dami ng tao na can afford. So I think you deserve better. So, eto yung sign mo na you deserve better. And eto yun, kailangan mo talaga either hanap ng higher paying client or mag-ask ng raise with your client. Especially kung more than a year na yung rate mong ganyan. Oh my God, yeah, with 2 dependents. My God. Ang taas nga. Tas yung taxes if ever. May end period pa ba yung pag-grant nila ng DNV? So far, wala pa naman. And I don't think so. Pero kung 2028, pa sobrang layo, di ba? So, ayun. Ilan po client mo nung nag-apply ka? Isa lang po yung dineclare ko na client. Kasi pasok naman siya sa minimum income requirement. So, isa lang yung ko nun. Kasi ayoko din i-declare yung iba kong client kasi ang daming documents. Kailangan mo pa lahat hingan ng ganito, ganyan. So, isa lang talaga yung i-declare ko. How much pa minimum if spouse and 1 kid? If you are applying here directly in Spain, it's about 4,140 euros siya for the main applicant and 2 dependents. Ayun. Oh, thank you for hearting it, guys. Wala man problema at all. Hindi po kayo nahirapan mag-inform sa kanila sa planning kayo to move sa Europe. What I tell to clients, because this is, kasi hindi mo alam yung closeness yun ng client and stuff. With me kasi close ako sa client ko. So, walang problema, girl. Kung sinulatan pa ako recommendation letter, sobra-sobra pa yung binigay niya sa akin noon. Which I told you guys, this client, sobrang love ko talaga siya. But definitely with what I would say sa clients ko is ganito. Kailangan una, kausap mo sila physical. Like on Zoom or over call. Hindi pwedeng email or chat. Otherwise, they will say no. Alam na yan. The less hassle for them, the more they will just say flat out no. Kailangan mong una, isabihin sa kanila, what the Spain Digital Nomad Visa is, na nakabase sa kanila yung residency mo, hindi ka alam mo yun, hindi ka maghahanap ng work doon sa Spain. And why it's important for your family, you'll get the citizenship in 2 years. That will be great kasi you're from the Philippines and all that. And then, sabihin mo yung sa relationship niyo walang magbabago, you'll still get invoice the same or whatever, or dito mo na din pwede insert kung pwedeng gustong taasan or stuff like that. But definitely nakabase siya kung yung paano yung pagsabi mo. Kailangan, before pa niya matanong tong questions na to, may sagot ka na. So that's why it's important, before ka pa magtanong, that's not the first step. Before ka pa magtanong, dapat understand mo na konti yung DNV. Para pag nagtanong ka, kompleto ka na with ito yung mga kailangan. Sige, umuo na siya. Ito yung mga kailangan ko sa yung contract. Kailangan natin lagyan ng addendum kasi tumaas na yung rate ko sa'yo over the years. Kailangan ko ng COE. Dapat nakalagay doon na ino-authorize mo ako to work remotely in Spain. And of course, parang kailangan ko din yung certificate of good standing or pwedeng kayo na yun para hindi na rin siya ma-hassle, di ba? Yorn. Okay. Paano po yung ibang client? Sa PH niyo po pinapasok yung money? Okay lang po if confidential. Ano, what do you mean ibang clients? Like, if I have other clients, pumapasok siya sa Wise. Sa Wise yung, ano ko, yung payment method ko pa din sa other clients ko. Kasi I have to, Spain is very like, ano sa taxes. So, I just want to get the citizenship and be done with it. So, I'm like, okay, I guess kailangan ko magbayad ng tax. Inisip ko na lang, yun yung tax na hindi ko nabayaran for me freelancing in the Philippines. Kasi, oh my God, ang hirap intindihin ng tax laws, pag-register and all that. And I know, so, like, another VA is getting, being burned at the stake right now on social media kasi parang nag-post siya something about pag-VVA and stuff. And, more power to her. That's how the VA social media content creator thing works, right? They have to like blast out their salary and stuff like that to motivate people or to show people na this is possible for you guys, ganyan. So more power to her, but that rubbed people the wrong way. Kasi hindi nga naman sila makapikit pag sa social media pag nag-scroll. So, ayun. So, definitely understand both sides. Ayun. So, I understand completely yung mga hindi nagbabayad like sa taxes kasi it is a difficult process to understand. Yung pag-register mo pa lang, ang dami yung forms, wala pang tulong dun sa BIR, susungitan ka pa, sasabihin, kulang ka nito, ganyan, bumalik ka na lang bukas. Mga ganon, di ba? Sang haba pa ng pila, which, in retrospect, all of this can be done online, but we don't have the infrastructure to because, well, we know because ninanakaw lahat ng pera. So, I'm like, anong magagawa, 'di ba? Have another offer. Bakit kasi sila for me nag-rant pa. For me, bakit nag-away-away yung mga Pilipino? Tayong mga middle class or whatever. But tayo yung nag-away-away. Yan yung gusto nila yung tayong nag-away-away. Yung hindi tayo nag-unite. Alam mo yun. So, ayan. I have another offer. Kung kinuha ko yun, pasok na sana. Kaso gusto niya exclusive lang ako sa kanila. Pasok na sana sa income requirement. Yeah. I get that. Kasi parang ang limiting din. Lalo pag, di mo naman alam kung ano. Tapos yan yung mga clients na ayaw nila i-specify sa contract na dapat may 30 days na termination notice or 60 days. Diba yung mga ganun. Baka 2028 din pa ako makarating dyan, kulang pa income. Nako, malapit na po yan. If wise, di na po yun matataksan yun ng Spain. Depends. Kasi technically, how it works is you send it to your gestor or your tax accountant, yung invoices mo. So, kung ano yung mga sinsend mong invoices sa kanya or ina-upload mo dun sa profile mo, yun yung itatax. If I apply in UHE, pwede po na if approved, uwi to get the dependent, Yeah, definitely. Kasi pwede mo na siyang i-apply dito. And then once you get the approval, pupunta ka lang sa consulate. I mean, magpapabook ka lang ng another appointment sa BLS para matstampan ng 1 year yung visa niya para kasama mo na siya lumabas. So, make sure before ka lumabas ng Spain, get your physical residence card. True sis, parang ginagawa din nilang loophole hired as full-time pero walang benefits. Ayun nga eh, so wala kang benefits or anything. So, anong point? 'Di ba? Like, independent contractor ka, so you get to do whatever you want to do. Yung contract ko po from Upwork, valid po ba yun as requirement or need directly from the client? I would suggest to get it directly from the client pa din. As much as possible, if mapapapirma mo lang, parang same lang din naman po to nung nasa Upwork. Kasi technically, you're not in contract with your client. Upwork, you're in contract with Upwork and the client is in contract with Upwork. So, meron kayong mediating na middle ground and that doesn't show kasi stability, kumbaga. And gusto mo makita ng Spain na, uy, stable to. Kaya, so, bibigyan ko siya ng 3 years. 'Di ba? Pag dito ka sa OHE mag-a-apply. Or kung sa 1 year man, ba't ko to bibigyan? Eh, malay ko ba kung ita-terminate na to and walang, 'di ba? May mga ganon. So, for me, it's much better to get from your client as much as possible. Kasi pipirmahan lang, pwede mo namang ikaw na yung mag-prepare ng contract, tapos pipirmahan lang eh. Wag nga silang attitude dyan. Mga taong to eh. Babayad na nga, ang baba-baba. Nag, nag, nag-rant pala. Ang haba na nasabi. Ayun. Thank you so much, guys, for sending hearts. I heart you too. Ayun. You don't have to like send anything, to be honest. The hearts are fine. It just keeps me visible, I think, on TikTok. Yun daw yung ginagawa ng hearts. So, yun. Thank you so much. Thank you din sa mga nagte-thank you. You guys are raised correctly and are very polite. Ayun. Oo. Oh my God. Pag ako muna ang mag-apply, para nasa 2,600 euros lang, paano i-apply yung dependent? Kailangan taasan mo muna yung income mo, be, bago mo siya may apply. Kailangan taasan mo muna yung income mo na mako-cover yung isa pang dependent. Or, pag may citizenship ka na, pwede mo siyang petition. Yun na yung time na pwede ka mag-petition ng family members like spouses or your kids, ganyan. Kahit nasa Spain na, yeah, pwede mo siya i-add pa din. Tapos pag na-release na yung approval letter niya dito, kailangan nyo lang i-verify sa consulate paano yung maging process. Kasi minsan pa iba-iba sila ng process. Pero most likely than not, kailangan nyo apply pa din for the 1 year DNV. So that just means need niya ipakita yung approval letter, yung mga other documents like proof of relationship and stuff like that. Kaya ako uminom ng tubig, guys. Ano tips mo para di malowball ang sarili pag nag-ask about your rate during the interview? A, kailangan alam mo na kung ano yung rate na deserve mo. First, ano yung rate na nandun sa post nila? Second, ano yung tasks? So, based on that, okay, makikita mo, okay, ito yung rate ko. If hindi sila mag-specify ng task or sinabi lang nila to, in-interview ka lang, ganyan. Kinda interviewin mo din sila. Well, can you give me a little bit more of the scope of my roles and responsibilities with this role? Tapos, pag sinabi nila na explain, ayun. Tapos, with that, responsibility and stuff, I think I can do this per month or per hour, whatever, ganyan, kung ano yung tingin mo, like, you deserve. Basta, wag ka mag-apply kung mababa na yung posting nila ng rate. I don't think it's worth it to apply. Sayang pa yung oras mo. Mag-cold outreach ka na lang kasi mag-attend ng interview. Ayun. But definitely, that's the way to not get lowballed. Na dapat alam mo kung ano yung pinapasok mo early pa lang para alam mo na kung ano yung sasabihin mo beforehand pa. So, pag kunyari, hindi mo talaga alam and medyo finicky sila, then i-ask mo sila like how much is the rate, the range of what you're looking for with the applicants, ganyan. Tapos pag sinabi nila, it's 6 to ganitong euros. Okay, then that's, kung pasok, then that's perfect. I'm looking for about 9 euros. Kung, yung pinakamataas. Ganun. Hi, Miss Alex. What can you say about Marbella versus Alicante? I think Marbella is also good. I haven't been personally, but maybe I should. It seems like a quaint place as well. And Alicante is starting to become known na din kasi. So marami na din doon. And parang last time punta nga namin may artista na din doon. So ayun, parang baka lang din by the time ma-approve na kayo and stuff, yung Alicante ay medyo madami ng tao, ganun. So, ayun. Just watch out for that queen. In your 1 year living in Spain, what's one thing you don't like? One thing I don't like is that sometimes you can't understand, like they speak so fast you can't understand what's happening. Ako as a chismosa and a people watcher, I sit in the train or I sit in the bus and I listen to people fighting. And it's like for me that's entertainment. So I don't have to be on my phone because I'm trying to like reduce it to only be in my phone for 7 hours a day. I think that's the maximum I can do if I'm doing social media anyways. But yon, I think this is the thing I don't like, that I'm not fluent yet. But again, that's on me. Not really on Spain. Other than that, nothing really. I love that there are a lot of foreigners here. Because I'm not racist. So I love that there are other foreigners here. And usually they're nicer than some of the Filipinos that ask me kung ano ba yung visa ko dito, magkano yung kinikita ko. At our first meet, really, like, okay ka lang ba, me? So, ayun. For me, there's nothing. Because some people don't like that there are a lot of other immigrants in places they immigrate to, but you cannot forget that you're also an immigrant. So, yun yung I think for me what I don't like. Miss, magkano kailangan monthly to apply as a digital nomad in Spain? If you are a single applicant, so wala kang dependent, it's 2,763 euros gross. Pwede allowed multiple clients if you apply here in Spain. Just watch out kasi tataas yung minimum income requirement at the beginning of the year, usually around end of January. Where in Spain pinaka-ideal for family? It depends on the vibe that you want, budget nyo. Gusto mo ba yung mabundok? Mahilig ba kayo mag-hike? Gusto mo ba yung medyo remote talaga siya na place? Or gusto mo ba malapit sa beach? Or gusto mo city? So, based on that, mag-iiba-iba talaga. Mark Justin, it's 2,763 euros. Yes po. What if project-based contracts po? Wala ba chance kasi need retainer clients to show stability? Yeah. It has to be na yung contract mo walang end date as much as possible. May required number of years ba with your client or carry kahit less than a year? Yeah, ay kailangan lang 3 months ka na sa client mo kasi kailangan 3 months worth of invoices, payslips yung ipapakita mo. Pero I would suggest if bago ka pa lang sa client, at least habaan mo ng probationary period. At least mga 6 months ka nun. Because me, as your ate, I'm looking out for you. Baka mamaya nakarating ka na nga dito, tapos bigla kang inano ni client, diba? Biglang umalis si client after 3 months, natapos na yung probationary period. So, I don't want that to happen to you. So, at least, if make a feel then kung ito bang si client mo tatagal, ganon. Ayun. Oh, thank you guys for following me. You're so nice to me. I'm gonna cry. Ayun. Deal sa family. Hope I answered that, Anne-Marie. Kasi it's very specific talaga yung question mo. Like, I cannot say one thing over the other, ganyan. But definitely, ask Yenny Isle. Like, she does also lives here on TikTok. I follow her. We're mutuals. She moved here. Ano sila, family of 4. And we do live together sometimes, ganyan. She's really good when it comes to like guiding you about like families and stuff like that. Ganon. Thank you. So helpful. Thank you, Lexine. Say, I don't have a formal invoice. Like, literal na nagsasend lang ng payment. You can just make an invoice, make them sign it. Para lang meron kang invoice. What does it mean when you say bureaucracy in Spain, and how does it affect our DNV application? Well, bureaucracy basically means processing, documents and all that. How it affects your application, because you're dealing with bureaucracy here in Spain. So sometimes it's not really fixed. Sometimes it's not as straightforward. Everything is in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, it's a little bit harder to get stuff. And sometimes it takes a while. Ganon. Naka-experience na ba kayo na dalawang full-time, and if sabay yung shift, lalo na if same country? Yeah, I used to be, like I told you guys, I didn't start na high income kaagad. So I used to have like three clients. One from growth assistant, one na direct, tapos isa from Upwork, I believe. No, I think OLJ. Or I will, yeah. But yeah, yung dalawa doon sabay-sabay. Parang New York and GA, Georgia, yung dalawa. Tapos yung isa ay California. For me, galingan mo for the first 3 months, until you automate some stuff that you do, and then you ask them to, like, flexible time. Ganon. Kasi take care of your health. Like I said in my recent post, you are your primary resource. So, kung wala ka na, saan anhin mo yung perang yan, girl? So, for me, you need two devices talaga para din hindi ka malito which is which. Or that's just me because I have uh something wrong up here. A little bit. So, ayun, I'm very OC pagdating sa mga ganyan. That's why I block out my time very rigorously. Ayun. Thank you. Thank you din, Monica. So nice for saying thank you. Yun. Thank you so much for everyone that joined the live so much. Like, it's so fun to, have people around here. Um, okay, I think my dog's still sleeping though. Yeah. Do you guys want to see my dog? This is random. Sobrang random. Wala na akong maisip na topic. So, if di kayo magtatanong, I'm like, my brain is like kaput. Ayun. Dog reveal. Di ba makita si Bingo? Dinala mo yung dog mo dyan. Yeah. So, I did bring him. Wait. Let me bring him to you guys. Come here, Bingo. Ow, ow, ow. Pahonod na pa. Hi, guys. Here's Bingo. Hi. No, I brought him here. So, but, dinala ko siya from Philippines to here. So, it was a long process then. Hi. Say hi. He hates everyone but me. Not really. He's very calm. He's just, wala siyang energy lagi. Ganyan lang siya. Ay siyang laruan lang. Oh, so nice. Oh my God, I forgot. I have a mic nga pala, so hindi niyo pala ako naririnig. Babe po sila sa airplane. Cutie. Buti pa yung aso nakatakas na sa Pinas. For real. Even my mom always tells me that tuwing nag-video call kami. Grabe, si Bingo dinala mo, ako hindi. Behave po sila sa airplane. Well, Bingo is used to traveling. Kasi lagi kami nagbabiyahe, lalo nung pandemic. Pandemic baby kasi siya eh. So, nagbabiyahe kami noon from LB, from where doon yung apartment ko kasi I studied in UPLB. Tapos umuwi kami ng Marikina. So, sanay siya sa biyahe, sanay siya nasa bag, ganyan. Babe siya sa airplane. Di ba? Babe to sa airplane eh. OMG. Yeah, he's a sausage dog. So nice. How much pa nagastos sa pagdala? I think in total about 40 to 50K in total. But I DIY'd it as well kasi. Or okay. May dependents din po kayong dala? Wala po. Ako lang, single applicant. Ano po pala requirements if unmarried couple po mag-apply? So it's a little bit complicated. Kasi, 'pag unmarried couple, you don't have really a legal proof of, relationship. So, yung parang proof of relationship nyo, kailangan nyo talagang i-work on. So, that means getting affidavits of cohabitation, affidavits of joint domestic partnership, yung mga ganyan. So, kailangan nyo yun gawin if you are, inaantok siya. Parang, she's like, leave me alone. Come on, go to the bed. Yeah. So, ayun. Sana na-enjoy nyo siya. Para tumaas yung energy nyo with bingo being here. Ayun. So, kailangan mo ng mga ganon if unmarried couple. Medyo mahirap siya. But, it is possible. I have a lot of LGBTQ couples that applied under me, did the consultation and all that. And approved naman sila. May iba din na ginagamit yung UTA Marriage Online Certificate, ganyan. Ayun. Esa dog po. What do you mean esa dog, B? Mas natuwa po ako. Sa'yo na dashan din dog mo. We want one more dog. But yung partner ko, lagi niya akong sinasabihan na, ako nga yung nagwo-walk kay Bingo madalas. Ganyan. So, sabi niya, pag di ka na busy, pwede daw, isa pa. Kasi may nakikita akong dashan sa TikTok na cream siya yung color niya, tapos medyo mabahaba yung hair. So, ang cute-cute. I can. I have 7 hot dogs. I can't, girl. My friend has like like parang ano talaga daw sila, like if kumuha ka ng isa, mapapakuha ka ng mas madami. I can't be that. It's too hard for me. Because with Bingo, I already like lagi ako nalulungkot pag nakikita ko may white hair na siya, ganyan. So, I can't. I remembered being very young nung namatay yung parang 13-year-old na dog namin sa bahay. Tapos sabi ko, never na ako mag-aaso. Yeah, but, he came into my life and then the very weird circumstance. So, I'd always appreciate that. Oo, totoo. Emotional support dog ko talaga siya. Need din po ba ipa-translate yun sa Spanish? Yeah, yung mga affidavits, if as much as possible, ipakana nyo yun, tapos ipapa-apostle pa. Yeah, definitely. Ayun. But yeah, thank you so much guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoyed Bingo. I think he farted while he was here. But I hope you guys enjoyed him. Ayun. I'll try to do this live more, to be honest. Because like I said, I have a little bit more free time. Maybe just randomly here and there. Pag hindi busy. Sabi nung iba, with the last life, better daw na daw, pag gabi, after paggabi dito, or umaga dyan. Kasi yung iba tapos na daw yung shift or kakatapos yung shift and stuff like that. But I feel like, don't you guys go sleep after the shift? Ayun. Pero when we went live and I was with my friend, who's a Schengen visa consultant, ang daming tao. So I was like, okay, so goods. Parang both works the time. So probably I'll do that time frame. Kasi I guess I got more energy at night pa din. Parang hindi pa rin yung katawan ko with the new time difference. Even though yung work ko na ngayon is parang 3 p.m. to 9 p.m. lang kasi Eastern Standard Time kami. Ano pong need ipakana? Yung mga affidavits. What time po dyan now? It's about 1:42 p.m. Dapat talaga yung salary ganun kalaki. Hindi umaabot ng 6 digits yung akin. Yeah, I definitely get that. Like I said to people, ito na yung sign nyo to get a better client or upskill or magtaas na kayo ng rate. Yun na talaga. Suggested niyo po ba to file ITR if you're planning to apply next year po? If you're for your degree, kung kunyari ang basis mo is degree, hindi really your work experience, yeah. Apply ka na ng ITR kasi it really helps din kahit sa Schengen visa application mo just in case kunyari ma-deny ka sa consulate. Hinanapan ka ng more ITRs, wala kang ma-provide, withdraw mo yung application mo and then mag-apply ka na lang dito sa Spain mismo. Yun yung sinasabi ko with my other clients. Work experience po, okay na. Kailangan 3 years. So, kailangan mo mag-late filing. Kasi ang check nila, consistency of all of your documents. Yung ITR, check nila for compliance and for the 3 years. Ganon. Na nagbabayad ka and consistent yung salary na dineclare mo. Until when? Until when po yung ano po, sorry. Sorry, hindi ko na-catch, Olivia, yung first question mo. Until when lang yung nabasa ko. Ayun. But definitely, guys, if you have any questions, just drop them because I'm about to end the live then because I have a call soon. But thank you guys for watching. We're always here, 7 p.m. every Friday. Hindi naman yan nagbabago. And this replay will get posted on Monday sa YouTube, yung long form naman niya. Para po sa application for Nomad, wala naman siya pang deadline or anything like that. If October 2026 lilipat sa Spain, kailan best time mag-apply ng ITR? Mag-apply ka na. Kasi kailangan mo ITR annual yun eh. Tapos quarterly. So, it depends talaga sa sa situation mo. If you want to know a little bit more about that, like I said, in the link in my bio, may libreng consultation call doon. So, 5 years niya ako sa client, mag-ITR pa rin po. If dito ka mag-apply sa Spain, you don't need ITR. Pero kung dyan sa Philippines, yeah, kailangan. Kailangan mo yung ITR. Hopefully, may marinig tayo na hindi na hinanapan ng ITR or anything like that. But so far, hinahanap talaga yun pag sa BLS kayo or dyan sa Philippines mag apply sa consulate. Oh, no worries. Thank you then, Jenny. No worries. You guys are so nice. Ayun, if you guys have any other questions then happy birthday, Alon. Ayun, if you guys have any questions, just leave them in any of my videos. And comment there and I'll try to make a video answering that question. But definitely thank you guys for watching. We've been here since like 7 p.m. So ayun, definitely thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a great shift ahead of you. If nasa shift ka na ngayon, have the great rest of your shift. Happy almost weekend. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Ayun, you can definitely check the link in my bio for yung mga libreng consultation call or anything like that. If I also have the DIY guide there na for free then. And we have the group on the Blue app sa Facebook called DIY Guide for Spain Digital Nomad Visas. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Zara. Bye, guys.